Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Nicky, and today is service day. So I got more than 500 kilometers on the bike, and now I'm going to do service. Also balance the front wheel. So the dealership approved to film this process, so you can see the whole thing. Let's start. Okay, so this is Omer.
Hey, what's up?
He will do the service today. He will walk you through the oil change and also the wheel balance. I bought the weight for it.
Everything you do for this bike, first of all, take off the case protector. It's big. Now you can see everything.
Is the oil cooler here?
Yep. To take the oil filter out, you gotta take off this part of the exhaust. It's not a big deal. A few seconds it's out. We will let it cool down because it's boiling now. And then we'll take the oil out.
Let's see, on the other side you have the the gas pump. This is here. It's very important to take care and protect, because if this goes, you cannot have fuel running.
I recommend when you put everything together back, use copper grease or paste, whatever, because now it's new, and if you want that it will be easier to open it again, always use this paste. It's good. 14 wrench in the back. It's hot. Very.
Great.
Maybe later on. It's it. All right. You can see inside here. Catalytic converter.
Yeah, a big one.
Pretty heavy because of this catalytic. 17.
Here's a bolt here. There's one here. And
Pretty hot.
one here.
Usually I do not open it when it's hot, but we have no time for that. Oh. Never over tight it.
It comes like this from the factory, yeah?
Yeah. There's no use to over tight drain bolts. Let's see how much kilometers you have.
560.
Let's see the oil. Crystal clear.
Oh, great. That's good news. Crystal clear is always good.
There is another bolt here. That's a screen. We will open it. We'll see if there is any debris on the screen. oil filters here. Pretty easy. Small spring. Never lose it. Now you have to pull this oil filter out. I use a magnet. I have a magnet for that. Pretty easy. If you don't have, you can maybe stick a screwdriver inside or whatever, but pretty easy. You can see this is the oil filter. We will leave it here for the meantime. Lean the bike a little bit and make it straight, then you'll get some more oil going out. Usually I clean here with a brake cleaner. Brake cleaner is one of the best for cleaning. That's it. When you service it, you get a new O-ring. You can use a new O-ring, you don't have to, but we use it because it's a new bike, although the O-ring can last for almost ever, but we have to replace it. I use some grease, I'll show you. I take it out. I use new one. I always use some grease, doesn't matter what kind of grease, just grease. Always on O-ring use grease. They last longer, they seal better. That's it for this one. And this bike, usually people will tell you to dump it into oil before you put it here. I tried everything. You don't have to do that. When you hit the starter, in about mill of a second, everything will be full of oil. Second of all, this bike has got an oil cooler, and the oil cooler is full of oil. You don't drain the oil from the oil cooler. You can do that, but you don't have to. So I do that without any draining or whatever. Just make sure it sits good. I hear the click. Don't forget this spring. If you are nervous about it, you can put some oil inside, but don't be. Trust me. Now when there's grease on it, on the O-ring, it's good. Always start with your hand. Never do it with a impact. You can use the impact after you get some turns on the bolt. This is why I do not use impact before. That's it. You get some turns on it. You can do it by hand. This is about 8 Newton meter. 8 Newton meter. I know my drill. This is about 8 Newton meter what I do with this impact. Then you can clean the rest of the grease that went out. Again, you can use this brake cleaner. It gets everything out. That's it. that's about it for the oil filter. Now we gotta go to the other side. You should check the breather hose. There is some leftover inside. You don't have to take this bolt, but it's easier. You see there's a, this is the leftover from the breather that goes from the cylinder head cap, and then you can just squeeze it with your hand if you want, or a plier or whatever. You see I took this up, and there is some leftover here. Let it drain for a while, wipe it for a while, for just make it clean. It doesn't really matter. Get it back. Now let's take the screen out. Always use the right tools, because first time everything is too tight. Let's see about the screen. Take a small plier. This is the screen you have inside. It's clean. Maybe there is a little bit of debris here, which is okay. It's a new bike. Again, I clean it with a brake cleaner. There is a small O-rings here and here, small O-rings. Usually I put some grease on it, because when you squeeze it in, you want it to go pretty easy, because if it's too dry or whatever, you can just pull the O-ring out. It can go out. So I use you can use oil, you can use grease, but a little bit of grease for easier penetration, like we know. That's it. Grease your pin. Make sure you don't put it crisscross. That's it. It's in. Using grease also. Grease on the threads, on the O-ring. Always use grease. It will make easier life on you when you servicing the bike. Use a new crush washer, aluminum. Never over tight it. I use some grease on the thread. Again, you can use torque meter to tighten the bolts. I am an experienced mechanic. I usually, on certain bolts, don't use torque, but some bolts I do. If you don't have any experience, you can use a torque meter, and you can see the manual. For every bolt there is a certain torque. I never over tight it. Now we can reassemble everything. Again, I use this copper paste. I use it here. There's one of the header bolts here. Use a little bit. It never harm. Also, I use a little bit here. It's against seizing, because this is anti-seize, is the real name. Here inside, a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. That's it. Now I will. When you touch the, you hold the exhaust system, you gotta clean your hand, because then you're going to make some signs on it, with your hands with oil. You gotta clean your hands before. We have the header. It gets easier with the copper base. Never tighten the bolts before you put all the system inside the bike, because you have to do that. It moves. You want it to be on the natural place. That's how it's in his natural place. Some washer are missing here. Oh. Do not forget to put the washer on the back, because there is a rubber there that holds. That's it. Make sure you do not touch the banjo bolt of the oil cooler. Some people put this on this place, but it's not a big deal. Never over tight. Now we have the 10 wrench. Now we have this one. That's it. What left is to put some oil in the machine. We use, in our service place, we use the 1050 full synthetic oil. Motul, you can use other brands.
Okay, then the dealership wanted you to know that there's a case that comes included with a glass to check the oil. So it will be available soon at the dealerships. So at the meantime, we have to measure the oil on the old-fashioned with a zip tie.
Yeah, with a dipstick, but we created just a zipper, and I cut it in the right length, but just for you guys to understand, this bolt on the case is about the height of the oil. All right, so some people, you can take this case off, and inside here you can just grind a little bit the aluminum to let the oil goes out from here. So when you open the bolt, you can see the oil will go out. This is the level, so you can check level. Some of bikes all over the world use this system. You can do that, pretty easy. If you want, you can buy the oil site here. We will get it in about 1 week, I think. But if you don't have anything and you don't want to do anything, you can just dip the stick. This is about the height. This is about the height. So first of all, I put about 1.5 liters oil. I start the engine, you will see, and then I will check the bike again. We will do that. Bring the funnel. Let it settle down. I'll bring some more oil. Usually, from experience, I use 1.7. It's about, give or take, it's about what this bike needs. Now we are 1.7. Again, never over tight this one. This one is a sucker. If you over tight it, it's pretty impossible to open it. Anyhow, we need to open it again to check the oil, but just saying. Let's get the bike down a little bit because it's too high, and we'll start the engine. You can open the switch, you can start the engine. Minute or two, it's enough. We will let it settle down for a while. We want the oil to go down, back down to the case. Okay, after about 2 minutes, I hold the bike straight, balance the bike. I dip the zipper this height, take it out. We have enough oil. It's about enough. So it's 1.7. Because it's got an oil cooler, it doesn't matter if you have 1.8, 1.6, 1.7. Never go on the 100cc. It's not a big deal. It's got spares inside. It's not a big deal. That's it. When I reinstall the case protector, I use first the bolts from the bottom, and some people use the first bolt here and they lean it on it. It's not, I recommend do not do that. Leave this bolt to the end. People ask me about the rubber here, the cushion. There's only in one side. People think there is in the other side, but there is not. Only on the right side of the bike. Pretty easy. Very nice fitment. do not I do not tight. I don't tight it. Squeeze it up. Use this one. That's it. Easy as that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts. Ready to go. You had vibration on the wheel, front wheel, because this, when you go on street with this kind of rim, you have
The rim
locker.
Yeah.
When you have the rim locker, so you have a lot of weight here, so it's impossible to get balance naturally. So now you brought weights.
Yeah, I brought the weights.
Yeah, you bought on the internet weights. So
On the spokes itself.
yeah, we're going to adjust it right now.
Yeah, so
I'm
after
sure.
500 kilometers, I did feel a lot of vibrations at higher speeds because of the rim locks, and because of that, I requested to balance the wheel. I had to buy the weights, and over here we'll remove the wheel and do the balance. I heard that it will be useful.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. We will do that. When we will assemble it, I'll show you some things to make sure.
Yeah, when we
It is
connect the
right.
wheel itself, we need to check the ABS, how to connect the ABS.
Yeah, it's very important to see there, and also the wheel shaft. We will do. I put some grease from when I assemble the bike, but
Right.
usually they come dry. Obviously, the rim lock will be down,
Yeah,
as you can see.
This is the rim lock.
Yep. Between the rim lock and the air valve here, it will be, let's say, the rim lock is pretty heavy, so we will start with the heavier weight. Let's see what it says. Let's go to the other side of the rim lock. Let's start with something before we do. Like that. See how heavy the rim lock is. Now it's all right. Let's say like that, half. Let's see which side it will go to the rim. Let's stick another one here, just for checking out. Wait, I gotta tighten it a little bit. Let's see what it said. Look at that. See how heavy is the rim lock. But look at that. If I put it again like that, still rim lock a little bit. Let's take I guess it will be maybe this one. Let's see what it says. Too heavy. Okay, pretty easy. Let's take a smaller one. This one. Nice weight. Quality ones. Let's see what it says. Ooh, see? Still heavier, but all right. What you guys said, huh? Decent. That's it. We will tighten them. Ready to go. So if we do the calculation, is there any weight on them? What size it? No, it's just try and see if it goes. Yeah. So we have 2 big ones and 1 medium. Yeah, 2 big ones and 1 medium. But every tire is different, every wheel is different.
Yeah, I had changed the tire itself, so maybe be another weight for you, but 2 big ones and something like the medium, smaller one.
So anyhow, like we said before, this is the ABS sensor and it's also the spacer here. But if you can see, there is here there on the shock there's a groove, and this one goes exactly where the groove is. So never ever put it not in front of the groove, ever. It's pretty easy, it's not scary, but make sure first of all you need to, usually I take off the caliper because it's easier to go inside. Now it was easy, but usually if I recommend take off the caliper out, put the wheel in, then put the caliper in. It's easier, but now it's okay. Maybe now you'll see it will go out. You don't have to put it right now. That's it. I'll show you how you know it's on the right place. In the right place. That's it. By the way, never use tons of grease on the shaft. Use some thin oil, it's better than a grease. Anyhow, when you starting to tighten it, when it's all the way in, start with your hand, and then you can check it out. If you see it does like this, this is in the right place right now. Now you can tighten the shaft. Other thing, after we tighten this side, you can tighten the pinch bolts. It's no big deal, because in this side, when you tighten the nut, it pushes the hub all the way here. So it's okay, there is no movement here. But very important, on the other side, by the way, this is about 12-15 Newton meter. You can see the manual, but never over tighten it. You can see I don't use a torque meter, but I don't use power also. This side is very important, because we want to make sure that you see the shock can move on the shaft, on the axle. So there's all kind of methods, it's not new. See, I put the bike on the air, I turn the wheel, and then I hit the brake. Then it makes this suspension leg to come to his right place. That's it. Now I tight it. Again, do not over tight it. One here, one there. Make sure the wheel will not go off. Don't worry. Do not over tight it. That's it. You are ready to go.
Well, thank you, Omer, for all your hard work.
Anytime.
I know I learned a lot of things. I hope you learned yourself as well. Okay, so this was the first service for the Kove 450 after 500 kilometers. Oil change, wheel balance if you use the rear lock. Pretty easy service, as you can see by Omer. In my country, you have to do it in the first year in the shop, not at home because you have the warranty. But overall, you can see taking off everything here is pretty easy, putting back in. I really enjoy the service, Omer, and you. And David, thank you again.
Any questions you can ask. They can
Right.
ask you. You will ask me. Whatever.
Right. So if you have any questions for Omer, please write in the comments. We'd be happy to answer you. And that's it. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye for now.